Hello everyone, this is Josh Castle from the Monroe County Public Library, and I'm here today to talk to you about another digital creativity at home software that you can use completely for free. This is called LMMS. It's available from lmms.io, and what it is a digital audio workstation. So that's something like Logic Pro or Adobe Audition if you're familiar with that, or if you're doing something else, maybe Fruity Loop Studio, things like that, where you have access to sounds, effects, virtual instruments, and different tools that you need to make your own music. So one quick thing before we get started here is that the LMMS used to stand for Linux Multimedia Studio, but the project has since gone cross-platform. So if you're looking online for tutorials or something like that, you might find it listed under the Linux Multimedia Studio. That said, there are plenty of really great resources out there because this is a free piece of software. A lot of people like to use it, and it's become very popular as a result. So I'm gonna just launch that here, and it's actually a pretty lightweight program, so it tends to launch pretty quickly, and it seems like a variety of systems are able to use it. So what we have here is the LMMS Studio. Maybe too many M's there, but so we have our standard stuff on the top, file tools. We have this bar which has some useful things on it, so opening things, closing things, setting different options. We have these things here that tell us about our time signature, tempo, things like that. But where the real meat of the program lies is right here in this workspace. This is kind of the workstation aspect of the digital audio workspace. So we have a song editor, where most of your work is going to take place, more than likely. We have a controller rack where you can do quick access to different settings. So maybe if you have like a virtual amp that you're using, you can put it in here. And we have an effects mixer here, which you can control master volume. You can also do different effect chains. So there's lots of different effects that you can add to how your music sounds. And then before we get to this, I'm going to go over this left side here because we have some important tools here. So we have our instrument plugins, and that's just as easy as dragging and dropping. So if I wanted some mallet sounds, I could just drag them and drop them into my song here. We also have a section for samples, and it does come with some samples. So we have some bass loops in here, which I can play. I guess I'll do this Techno Bass 01. So, yeah, so there's that. You can actually bring in songs or sounds and cut samples from them. So if you really like the sound of a drum, or there's like a little beat somewhere that you want to pull in, you can actually just drag and drop that into the song as well. That said, do notice that these are in .ogg format. So the LMS Studio is not compatible with MP3. That's a pretty easy problem to solve. You just need to convert, whatever sound you're trying to pull in, and you should be good. But yeah, be aware that MP3 is not compatible at this point. So I'm actually just gonna close this real quick here. There's a couple other things here. It's just quick settings to presets, your projects, and things like that. So it's not as important as the samples or the virtual instruments. So that out of the way, we're going to take a look at the song editor. The song editor here is maybe a little bit busy, but it's actually fairly intuitive once you know what you're doing. So here we have our triple oscillator, and what this is kind of like a virtual synth type thing. It sounds like one of those electronic organs. So let me pull it up and let you listen to that so you can hear what it actually sounds like. So you can hear there that it makes, like very distinct sounds. You can change different settings, like, what the volume is, what the fall off is, wave pattern if you're advanced enough in music to do something with that. I know I'm not, but yeah, what What I can do though is put in these sounds to make part of my track. So the way music works is you have different sounds, and then you just layer those sounds to make a song. So I might have my oscillator here, and you just left click to get the little bars in here, and you can middle click to remove them. But after they're in there, you can double click, and then you get the piano roll. And in the piano roll, you actually have access to the exact same sounds that you had before. So you can just play them there to listen to how it sounds like. And to place your notes, you just click right here. So maybe we're gonna have like a few notes here. I don't know. This is probably not gonna sound very good, but we can hear what it sounds like. So let me go ahead and hit play. So I hope you appreciated my musical masterpiece there, because I'm going to go platinum with that one, I'm sure. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, and then show you that after we place that in there, it's automatically put it to the amount of length that we've put into that track there, into that piano roll. So here it doesn't just like, play all 4 or 5 or 6 or however many notes that were, or how many notes there were there at once. It actually plays them over the course of it looks like 1 bar here. So let me just go ahead and hit play, and you can hear that those are the sounds that we made. So now what we can do though is we can do something with like the mallets here, and let's put that in. I'm sure this is going to sound just absolutely wonderful with the oscillator up there, but let's go ahead and hit that. And I hope that you're going to be able to hear both of them at once. So they were a little less hearable because they're very quiet. I can actually double click in there and show you something else. So what may make them a little bit more distinct is you can actually click and drag the note. So if you want it to like hold a note for a really long time, you can click and drag it, and that's just a left click, and then let's hit play. Oh, and actually the fall off for the note was pretty quick, so maybe the mallet's not the best demonstrator of this. Let me go into the organ. So let me remove some of these notes here, just to get like a little bit more audio that you might be able to hear. That one you can't really hear. All right, so I'm gonna lay down this really long note, and it's not playing for some reason. I wonder why. Let's see. Yeah, let's try this again. There we go. Don't know what happened there, but you can hear us holding the note now. So what I'm gonna do is hit stop there, and then I'm gonna put in some. You know what? The beat or bass line might actually be a better thing to do. So let me turn this up on the volume here. So if you can hear those little beats, and what I'm going to do is just put quite a few of them in there, and then I'm going to put in my beat here, and I'm just going to stretch it over the same way that I did with my notes. So click and drag, so it'll continue to play. And check this out. So you can hear how that's beginning to layer sound. So we have the oscillator sound, and then we have the beats over them, and you can add in those mallets. You can add in this song. So at the same time, maybe we have this techno beat going on. Yeah, and the way that the beats work actually, and so I was talking earlier about cutting samples from this. You can actually pull different parts of a song in. So if I want to do that, I can just click and drag this, and let's say we want to get this specific little part of the song right here. So it's just this one beat, rather as opposed to the whole song. I can close that, and I can put this in here. And what that's doing is actually just playing that specific part of the song. So if I didn't have the specific part of the song, this would play that whole techno beat, or however much of it could fit in over the length that the note was stretched. So let me demonstrate that. And I'm just going to make this a little bit longer. I'm going to go back in the techno beat space. Let me zoom out, and let me go ahead and get the whole thing selected again. And close this. So now if I play this, actually let me mute these. And that's important to know too. We have actually like some options here, so you can add, remove, clone tracks. We have the volume here, but you can actually mute and solo. So what I'm going to do is solo the techno bass and hit play. And you can hear that it actually goes through that whole little beat. So if we changed it to be just that part that I was talking about earlier, it will just play that. So let me close this now. And you can hear it just played that one little sound. So this is where the sampling comes from. If you're wanting to chop a sample from a song, you can actually just get to the part of the song that you want, find the, where the peaks and valleys are represented. So on here, it's like this specific peak and valley section. Maybe you have like a little beats, or there's like, some vocal range that you like the sound of, and you can put that in there, and you can make it sound really good. With this, you can actually double click this. You can actually move your notes here. So I have like that techno beat in here, or actually it's just like that one beat here. I don't know if I reset that. I did not. Okay, so let's reset that first to get the whole thing in there, to make this a little bit more noticeable when I'm getting ready to demonstrate. And let me put this in here. So by default, we have that sound. But when we're sampling, we can actually go up or down pitch, up or down tempo. I can change the pitch and tempo here. So let me go down in pitch. So that's actually too quiet. You're not going to be able to hear that. It's still... So you can hear, if I actually put in the song on this lower key here, now we have, a much lower sound. So when you're pulling in samples, you actually have control over the pitch and the speed of the sample that you pull in. So, you can do those really clever, creative, sample chops where it's so far removed from the original product that it's become its own thing. And from there, you can layer vocals, you can mess with automation tracks. So if you want to like apply an effect to something, it has like this really nice like automation track workflow that you can work with, where you can change the volume dynamically. Like, so if I wanted to change the volume of that at certain points, I would just set this automation track up and then set it up to higher or lower my volume. Maybe I'm going to apply an effects chain, and I can use all these tools to make my own song. So that said, I think that just about covers the absolute basics of this. So feel free, please look online for more examples. This is just scratching the surface. You can find your own virtual instruments that go beyond what's built in here. You can find lots of different things. There's like this. There's a something called an SF2 player in here, which can pull in a wider range of instruments. There are different plugins. There's one that can produce chip tunes, so it's like a Game Boy sound emulator. So if you like that, you can use that. And like I said, this is all for free, and there's a very rich community online for it. So yeah, take a look at that. If you make a musical masterpiece, please remember your local library here. And with that said, we'll see you in the next one.